Welcome everybody to Lunchtime League. Sorry for the Rift Happens overlay kind of pre-reel there. We were that's all I had to work with this time. So either way, we are your Rift Happens crew, the duo here, Justin T, joined by my trophy caster co-host Ronnie B, right down there. So thank you all so much for being here. We are bringing you some playoffs action. Not only are we going to recap some of the action that happened last night, we right here are going to live stream and cast over the Hotline Ping versus JGE match that you see right up there. So we're excited to bring this to you. If you weren't spectating them last night, then you may not have seen it. So Ronnie, are you ready?
Man, I cannot explain to you how ready I am. I've been hyping this. Playoffs have been coming. They're on the horizon. We're finally here. We're right in the thick of it, man. Like 3 games down after we cover this one to go. Dreams are being, realized. Some are being crushed. People are walking away victors. Some are losers, and everyone's having a good time. And nobody more than us, I feel.
Yeah, I think it's a great time to be a fan of League of Legends and a fan of the CR community. I think it's just a fantastic time having playoffs and where all of the matches count.
Yeah, we've arrived exactly.
All right, cool. So let's go ahead and get into our first kind of recap of a match that happened last night. And I promise everybody this is going to go smooth and quick, hopefully, to get into Hotline Ping versus JGE. But we did have 2 other playoff matches last night. Deathcat for Cutie taking on Spawn of Baron. This is the number 2 seed versus the number 7 seed. And when we get into their champ select, this is what it looked like. I do have some art on there. We were commenting on it earlier. This was not Rogue Otters, I don't believe. I think this was Taylor. This is Vray Azoff that is joining in the MS Paint competition.
Got some artists in this league, man, no doubt. It's amazing.
So this match, really cool. Looking at Champ Select, did feature 2 of our 100%. Oh, it was Rogue Otters. So I think Taylor posted it, but Zach is claiming it in chat. So
all right, fair.
Okay, fair enough. So
credit to Zach.
The definitely not Rakan skin was in full effect in Pro Draft, but we saw a 100% win rate Ziggs, 3 wins versus the 100% win rate Scion across 4 wins. Just looking at Champ Select, what were your thoughts heading into this?
Yeah, good call out, man. Like they say, right? The unstoppable force meets the immovable object. Who's going to win, right? 200% win rate champs. Yeah. So watching this game, it's really interesting to see the pick ban phase play out live. Oh man, what's going to come next? I don't know what their priorities are, because at this point, everyone has played everyone once. So these are all rematches technically. So, do you have an ace up your sleeve? Is something coming that we weren't expecting? And the first pick, Ziggs, comes through for Deathcap, showing the blue side advantage there, taking advantage of, a champion who's arguably at a really strong point at the moment, especially here in Coach Rivals. Ziggs is a contested pick in a lot of games recently, and that even goes to the pro scene, the LCS. Ziggs is mid, he's bot, he's kind of all over the map right now, and he's really strong. So Deathcap taking advantage of that blue side, getting him first, locking that up, and then on the other side, right, Spawn of Baron, we've talked about before, they really favor some of these picks that they go to often because they are really comfortable with them. So you get the Nautilus Caitlyn combo, which is really deadly, and these guys play it to perfection. So you get through the first couple of picks, and really I couldn't give it to one team or the other because they both got kind of what they wanted here. And it was really, really cool to see, like, man, these guys are really prepared. They're ready.
Yeah, we start, as you mentioned, we start to see some of the comfortability come out. We expect Ziggs for Deathcat for Cutie. Sones has got the first official Penta in regular season play of Coach Rival Season 2 on that Ziggs. And Spawn of Baron not neglected, but chose not to ban it, because surely the Ziggs is going to be like picked. Like surely that's going to be a prio pick. But I believe Spawn of Baron had been working on counter picks for that. So the Ziggs comes through, the Warwick, the Rakan, not surprises from Deathcat for Cutie. And then, like you said, on the side of Spawn to Baron, the Nautilus, Caitlyn, not a surprising duo to be run in the bot lane there. A lot of CC, a lot of lockdown. Nautilus hits the Q, Caitlyn drops the trap down. So, you get those instant headshots. And pretty much you get hooked one time, you're dead. The way that combo works. Scion coming through, and I was like, okay, we've got the beef, as we like to talk about. The beef is coming through, but then when you go back to the second pick phase, things get super, super spicy with the Vayne coming through from Shiny Ninetales, which he did play that Vayne along with the Tristana last time on Deathcat for Cutie and had a phenomenal performance on the Vayne. But the Darius came through as well. And Ronnie, we were talking a little bit before we went live. What were some of the comments about this Darius after the Darius was picked?
Yeah, so if you're watching the game live, this was the game with the triple cast. They had Robbie, Coop, and Rick all killing it last night on the casting desk. And Robbie, after the Darius got picked up, Robbie was pretty vocal about how he didn't like the pick and wasn't sure how it fit into what these guys were trying to accomplish, with their composition. So the Darius pick comes through. And everyone's like, "Oh man, Robbie plays top lane. He knows his stuff." So definitely a little worrying for Deathcap. In the first couple of minutes there, and really, that was the only time that it was a worry because going forward, he definitely held his own in that top lane. So, I think I like the call out from Robbie to say like, okay, hey, maybe this isn't a character that we've seen a lot for a reason. It's not necessarily something that teams have been, putting a lot of games into. There's not a lot of practice on it. And way to prove us wrong, right?
Yeah.
I was right there with Robbie. Like, I don't know what's going to happen here. And then, we saw how it played out.
Darius being one of those kind of like feast or famine champions. Yep. He's going to get ahead early and snowball and stomp, or he may not, right? And if he doesn't, then he's kind of just another ward on your team, and you can kite him away, right? Which is great for the Caitlyn to be able to do, and the Nautilus to be able to CC lock him down. And then the Kassadin came through as well, and I believe this is what that Spawn of Baron had been working on as far as a counter pick for the Ziggs. I think this is why they let the Ziggs through, by bringing in the Kassadin, and then once the Kassadin comes through, casters are saying, hey, you just get to level 16 and he's no longer Kassadin, he's Kassa-Win. I mean, he's just, you end the game there. So we have a treat for you all. We've got video highlights of this. So we're going to kind of talk over it as we go through and talk about some of the memorable moments through this as these highlights kind of play. But definitely a banger of a match. The jungler's very active on the ganks, but as you mentioned before, this Darius got off to a really strong lead early, getting first blood, and then had a highlight triple kill later on in the match with the flash Q onto 3 members of Spawn of Baron.
Yeah, really impressive stuff. The first blood goes over, so immediately we know that this guy is going to be a menace, right? That's a good way to start the game, but not to be outdone. Spawn of Baron comes back in the bot lane, decides to really try to focus on making that a priority. Coach Dubs, though, really ran away with this top lane as we started to get further into the game, and it was just really, really incredible to see how well he could pilot it. Yeah, you can see some more highlights in the bot lane here now.
Yeah, so he does go up 3-0.
Here's the third one.
And it was just a crazy advantage that he got. And to not like insulting the analysis that Robbie had, because it really is. I mean, when you see the Darius, it's like, oh crap, he's either gonna hard carry and get fed, or he's gonna feed. And unfortunately, the pendulum swung in Deathcap's favor, right? And Coach Dubs got a gigantic lead, going up 3-0. But on the bot side of the map, Spawn of Baron was carrying that lead, as you mentioned before, that strong duo between the Caitlyn and the Nautilus, getting them a pretty solid lead until about that 16-minute mark.
Yeah, we really saw the bot lane start to kind of pull it back, and both teams had different strong sides, and you could tell in this match. But yeah, Shiny Ninetales, not to be outdone, said, "Look, man, I get it. You guys are really strong down here, but you can't disrespect me. I'm definitely still gonna pump out some damage." And nets kills. The tower goes down. Really nice engages by Rogue Otters throughout the game. Playing the Rakan to perfection with some really excellent grand entrances, and his ultimate as well. So really good job by these guys to stay focused and not lose their cool, because it was a really rough sledding part of the early game there.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Spawner Baron generated that lead early, asserting the dominance with those really two strong picks, just basically lane bullies, essentially. But the gold lead stayed fairly even, despite, even the Darius, getting that far ahead. That was the bot lane keeping them in the game, keeping Spawner Baron in. I think the gold lead was 2,000, 3,000 up until about the 20-minute mark. And then as we start to get into that 23-minute mark with the Baron buff going over to Deathcap, they start to open up the base. Then we see the gold lead finally, kind of stretch, and we have some parity between these two teams. But up until that point, a very, very even matchup.
Yeah, we did see a Baron sneak in this one, as Deathcap with the really bold call to try to run and grab that without much vision from Spawner Baron in the pit. Really smart play, and they used it to crack that first inhib in the mid lane. They had the early dragon stacking, but neither team was really interested in the dragon soul. And you see here one of the biggest highlight clips of the night with the triple kill from Coach Dubs, the flash into three members, the Q to knock them all down. The health bar is just evaporating within an instant. Really impressive stuff, and one of the cooler highlights of the night for sure.
Yeah, I would have to give. I know that the Vayne gets a quadra here at the end, but man, Coach Dubs really put his carry pants on, and there was a really cool moment in that final engage that we just saw, where Scion ults through, and Coach Dubs doesn't run away from the Scion. He sidesteps it into the brush and then walks forward towards Spawner Baron and says, "Okay, I juked the Scion. Now just let me go absolutely ham on Spawner Baron." So he was really feeling it last night. So major props to him. It was such an awesome performance on the Darius. Really cool to see. And he kind of, as you mentioned, kind of silenced some of those doubts over, is this Darius pick gonna pay off? And he shut us up.
Yeah, and in true Darius fashion, he was the only one who died in that last team fight, and cool guys never look directly at the explosion. They always let it happen behind him. So he was like, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna put my sunglasses on. This game is over." Oof.
So good. So moving on, we see Deathcap move on into that bottom side of the bracket, but we also had one other match last night that was between Team Tragedy and Immortals. So we're going to take a look real quick at their champ select moving into last night. I've got a little bit of an echo there, Ronnie. I don't know if you have audio going.
These headsets, these HyperX headsets are so finicky sometimes. Sometimes you get the loop. Let me adjust. I think we're okay.
Okay. Cool. So, all right. So moving into their champ select, we see a lot of the same, similar to what we've seen from Team Tragedy previous matches in the season. The Lux being prioritized, the Scion being prioritized, Seraphine in the mid lane, and Immortals responded in kind, getting rid of the Xin Zhao, because the Seraphine with the Xin Zhao was really strong. Seraphine with Olaf was really strong. Olaf got left open. But once Immortals brought in the Nocturne, it kind of forced the hand of Team Tragedy. We see the Xayah being locked in. I'm trying to speak in third person here, but yeah, I had to lock in the Xayah because the Nocturne got picked. I mean, that's kind of, I've said it on the podcast, and it forces it.
Yeah, we had talked about it before, to your point, right? Like, hey, Nocturne, when we see him and we don't have our ADC locked in yet, that's the go button for Xayah, because you are essentially You hit R, well, I'll just hit R too, right? We just kind of go blow for blow, and my cooldown is about the same. So every time you have R, so do I. So yeah, really good call there from those guys over at Team Tragedy, who will remain nameless. But in general, right, great draft for both of these guys. I like your call out about the Xin ban because we saw Eric take over a game earlier in the season with that Xin Zhao, and yeah, he played it really well then. But I don't know if it was an oversight or if it was just something you guys just couldn't, you couldn't ban out everything. But letting the Zerath through a second time
Yes.
was risky, man, because Zerath was so good, piloted by Aiden in week 1 against you guys. He didn't get to play it again until week 7, like a week ago, because it was just banned every game, and then you guys leave it up. So definitely a tense moment there when you see that get locked in, because you have flashbacks to those, that week 1 game where it was, I mean, on a razor's edge there. So really risky stuff.
Yeah, Aiden's really hard to ban out
Yep.
because if we don't ban the Xerath, then obviously are we leaving? If we don't ban the Xerath, then we need to ban Diana because his Diana is really strong. If we don't ban Xerath or Diana, then we also we got to ban the Nico because his Nico is really strong. And if we don't ban those, we have the decision. Okay, do we ban the Vel'Koz? And it's kind of like, well, we we have to like we've got to let something through. Like we can't possibly throw everything at him. So the call was to let it through so we could then hopefully deal with it. But the Maokai pick came through, and this threw us for a loop because instantly we're assuming that it's jungle because Mesrith has Maokai jungle in his play history. It's like, oh, which one also was really weird because he typically doesn't first pick jungle. Like normally his jungle pick is set for second pick phase. So the Maokai comes in like, oh, that's weird. He's picking jungle first. So we're assuming that this is jungle Maokai. It ends up being Maokai's support with the Imperial Mandate, which is really annoying to deal with in lane. And then the Nocturne pick came through, set in the top lane, and then English Teacher on Misfortune. And chat may have to correct me, but I think this is English Teacher's first Misfortune pick.
Believe so. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you're right. And to your point about this draft, you guys have done your homework, right? So you're like, oh, Maokai jungle. Well, everyone on the caster desk was thinking Maokai top.
Okay.
And then the set pick comes in. You're like, okay, so is it still Maokai top, or is it set mid, or is it, what's going on here? And then you guys are still thinking at this point, I'm assuming Maokai jungle.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Nocturne comes through in the second phase where you guys banned out a couple ADCs, which whittled down, English Teacher's pool to choose from, of course. But it also whittled yours down too, because you guys hadn't locked in your ADC either. So really lucky that the Xayah was still available as the Nocturne pick gets locked in. Immortals had the focus to on the jungle picks to kind of ban out the Shyvana, the Zen, the Sejuani back to back there to deny Eric, a little further down in his champ pool priority. Really interesting stuff, and I could not tell who was going where until the final seconds of the last phase there.
Yeah, and I didn't want to play Xayah. but they forced it on me. And it's the same thing when we played Coach Diff. Jeremy sent me a message afterwards, GG, and I was like, man, it's your stupid Nocturne pick. Like, it forced me to have to pick this champion that I really didn't want to play, but I have no choice. Like, you're pigeonholing me into that. So we do have, once again, video highlights. So, Coach Rivals stepping the game up a little bit. So we do have some video highlights of that one as this one played out. Very tense, very back and forth. And if we remind everybody of how this matchup went the very first time that Tragedy and Immortals played, Immortals were pretty much winning the game the whole time until the very end, right? It's they have our number pretty much. And this game really didn't differ. Instantly taking a 1,000 gold lead by the 6-minute mark, and they kind of kept their foot on the gas for the whole match.
Yeah, yeah. First blood in the top lane. Coach Magros just a little too close to the haymaker there, and gets taken out. You see some collapse in the bot lane. Eric over here trying to do his best to put his carry pants on and get something back for his team. Excellent flash away. Denies the kill, and it's looking really dicey. As we get to the 9-minute mark, you guys are down a couple of kills, and here comes Nocturne, right? And that's worst case scenario because you had, I think, just hit level 6 and had used the ult already. So you guys end up turning that, but really could have gone either way. And yeah, still again, back to the top lane, things are happening. Eric over here still trying to get some work done, gets killed while in his ultimate, which I thought was really funny looking. I didn't think that was possible. But yeah, these guys turn it on you, and really just back and forth, back and forth. You see here at the 12, 13-minute mark, it's still 5-4 in kills, dead even basically. So yeah, really neither team could be separated as we approach, the 15, 20-minute mark.
I think that the Seraphine was a really big pick for us. We saw some plays in the mid lane with Kane that he had the liberty to tower dive in, and the Seraphine being able to keep the Kane available, or keep the Kane alive, rather, shielded and healed and sped up, and the charms, everything. But these junglers were constantly back and forth invading. The Xerath ults were on point. We saw one where he predicted the Kane dash over the wall with the Xerath ult and was able to take out Eric there. That was on Aiden. And then as we get later into the game, closer to that 20-minute mark, we start to see these huge team fights take place, both near these neutral objectives, near the Baron Pit, at the Dragon Pit, and that seems to be how the rest of this match played out. Was okay, anytime one of these objectives is up, these teams are gonna get together and they're gonna fight, and it was basically coin flipped every single time.
Yeah, MF with the bullet time ult. I mean, just anytime the game gets to that phase where it's team fights, that's when MF excels. She's going to want everyone to group up around the Baron Pit, knock several of you down all at once with that ultimate, the outplay button, so to speak. And yeah, when the lights are turned off by Nocturne too, it's really hard to tell where the angle's coming from. Where's the bullets? I don't know. And then where everyone's dead. So yeah, again, got really close. You guys were up like 11 to 5 at one point. They brought it back 12 to 10 in kills, and still just kind of pushing you guys to your limits here. So, all the way back in week 1 when you guys played and we talked about how close it was, you guys weren't undefeated back then, right? You weren't the unstoppable 7-0 Team Tragedy, and these guys played you the same way this time with no fear, and I love to see it. Yeah, we see the Baron fight here again, really dicey. You guys get the Baron buff and then lose all 5 members. They get the ace, so then the Baron buff's gone, right? It's pretty rough play there. And then here comes Nocturne making some plays of his own, and at least trying to pick you out whenever he can, get you down to about 10% health. And then you see the ultimates like we talked about. You guys layer those perfectly. He's coming. You hit the R, and guess what? Our ults basically cancel each other. And yeah, you had a buddy there, so you won that fight.
Yeah, the set on Blue Dragon 9450 was constantly RKOing Scion back onto us. That Baron Pit fight was a clutch engage. The Dragon fight there that we just saw on screen, that one was the Nocturne ult came through, and it was the R2 never came out. So we were in complete darkness that entire time and couldn't do a thing. And they were able to turn that fight, giving the quadra kill over to Misfortune.
And the Dragon Soul.
Yeah, the Dragon Soul too. So it was like, crap.
Yeah, right. And then this happens.
Yeah.
This crazy fight here. Eric kind of baits 4 members a little too far forward. And just as they about to hit the go button on him, he disappears, because that's what Kane does. And you know what? You can't kill me if I'm hovering inside of one of your allies. And boom, as soon as he came back out, the rest of his team was there. You guys clean up the fight and win the game. Really, really intense stuff, man.
Yeah, it was super close. Just a really, really tight match between those. And we'll end up putting these highlights in the Discord. So if you want to go back and maybe get a better look at some of the plays that our coaches made, it was the highlights are just really cool because you're able to go back and see just brief little snippets and see like, oh, that was really cool that that player did that, and so on and so forth, and maybe snip some stuff, especially the quadra kill from Misfortune. We had the instant flash Q triple from Darius in the previous match, so be sure to check that out. But that brings us to this current standings here in the playoffs, where Team Tragedy does move on, eliminates Immortals. Deathcap has moved on, eliminates Spawn of Baron. And we still have 2 matches to try to fill out this July 29th bracket. I will say the Coach Diff and Team on the Right match, that one is not taking place until, I believe, this coming Tuesday night. So be on the lookout for that. But also played last night was Hotline Ping versus JGE. That one was not live streamed, so we have the blessings and the opportunity to be able to cover it with you right here. So Hotline Ping versus JGE. I haven't watched this match yet, so this will be, we're going into it blind.
Yeah, blind pick, right? Here we go.
But I do want to take a look at, Ronnie, what these 2 teams played last time they met. So remember, all of these matches in first round, all these playoff matches are rematches, right? Because they all played in the regular season. And this is what we ended up seeing the first time these 2 teams got together. Hotline Ping did take that win, but some of these picks that they had, it's cool to look and see, what did they use to their advantage to win, and will they do that again?
Yeah, I love to see this because, as you mentioned, right, everyone's played everybody one time, so everyone's been able to feel each other out a little bit. And you see here the previous match, that Decker guy piloting the Fiora really has had some spectacular games on that champion. Then you've got we talked about Zaya getting a little bit of a buff in this last patch. Well, before the buff even came through, Fixie Mantello is playing the Zaya as well. So, a little bit of comfort there, and those champions are a little stronger, further on down the line. I believe this was a Fiora game before Hullbreaker even came through. So, again, another little buff for both of those champions since the last time they played them. And then on the other side, Cartera, on the Cho'Gath, something she's played a lot, really comfortable on. Saikazi on the Storm, the Volibear. He's a really great champ for Saikazi's playstyle. And then, Ched, always on the pike. Anytime he gets the pike, that's going to be a good game for Ched. So really, really cool to see both of these teams, even last time they played, they have that unique identity and really bringing it, leaving it all on the Rift,
All right, so let's take a look at how this Champ Select played out. So that you just saw on your screen, remember, that was the last time they played. So we're going to see, so they have direct scouting results from there, but you mentioned Ched's Pike. That was one of those things where that was a quick 2-0 week for them. And it gave Pike that 100% win rate. And he's still, I believe Pike's still seeing a 100% win rate. And just those 2 picks, Ched's been the only player in the league to play Pike. So as we got into Champ Select, we're going to use some Google Slides magic here, and we're going to reveal the picks in the order that they were selected. So I don't have Champ Select music for you, but it's going to be pretty darn close. Yeah. So Hotline Ping opens up with the brand ban. Obviously throwing that over. Yeah, the brand ban. Yeah.
Brand ban.
Obviously targeting Erudite, right? Because Erudite, really strong support. Anytime we see Erudite and Major Queso Destroyer, we always want to talk about how impactful those supports are in the match. So not surprising to see the brand ban come through.
Yeah. Oh, and we're getting a request from chat. They want me to hum the Champion Select music. I don't know if I'm up to the challenge, guys.
I don't know if my ears can take it.
I'm definitely calling it out. I like the idea, Schmitty. I appreciate it, but I'm going to do everybody a favor and not do that. Yeah, the brand ban coming through. I like it. It's needed. Brand has not been picked a lot, but he's been banned a ton in coach rivals. It just seems like one of those champions that nobody wants to deal with. So more often than not, I believe he's been banned more than he's been played. throughout the season. Yeah, again, another one in the band calling for Brand.
JGE answering with Aphelios, and this really surprises me because I don't think we've seen Daddy Kai on Aphelios. Aphelios doesn't, to me, seem like his style. Daddy Kai seems to be playing a lot more mobile ADCs, but maybe I haven't been scouting like his match history, so maybe Daddy Kai's been showing this in solo queue recently.
Yeah, I mean we've seen Aphelios once or twice here in Coach Rivals, so maybe it was just something that these guys, Hotline Ping, I'm sorry, JGE knew they didn't want to deal with, uh, and that maybe there was that 1% chance that that's what they pick for Daddy Kai, and they don't want to do it. So, yeah, I mean you never know. These teams have like really specific strategies coming in, and it might have just been something they were talking about, getting rid of just in case.
And of course, Hotline Ping answer with the Malzahar ban. Poor Taylor never being able to play Malzahar. But then on the other side, we see the Pike ban come through, right? Surely you've got to ban Pike,
Yep.
or ban Pantheon. Diana ban answering from Hotline Ping, taking that away. And I think that was maybe targeted at jungle, perhaps, because I know JGE was running Diana jungle. I don't think that Avrayazov will play at mid. And then the Lucian ban coming through from JGE. So if you remember on the previous slide, that Lucian Pike was the duo that Hotline Ping ran in their previous win. So not surprising to see those two bans come through from JGE.
Yeah, definitely right on the money there, especially with the Pike ban. I almost just want to call the champion Chad because it's just so, you know what I mean? He's just so ubiquitous with this champ. He's the only one that plays it, and he plays it really well. So you got to take that out. And then, yeah, going off of previous experience, get rid of the Lucian. Same thing on the other side for Hotline Ping. Take the Malzahar out. Just don't even don't even pretend like it's a thing. Like just get it out of there. This guy plays it well. So yeah, I'd say really both teams pretty even as far as the first ban phase goes, as far as getting what they wanted out of the game.
Cho'Gath locked in for Hotline Ping. We expect
Boom.
this, right? Cartera in the top lane, giving her comfort pick. So that's something that JGE was willing to let through, and give Cartera comfort. So this is one of those things where you mentioned it before on the Rift Happens podcast. Doesn't really matter if she gets countered, because the comfort is really important to them over whether it gets counterpicked or not.
Yeah, and Cho'Gath is one of those characters too that as the game goes on, he's not going to get less relevant in most cases. He's going to keep those feast stacks up, and as long as he's not dying over and over again, he's going to get pretty big. So yeah, Cho'Gath is always a welcome sight for Hotline Ping. They love to see it.
Ezreal locked in for JGE, that being a steal over from Daddy Kai over on Hotline Ping. JGE locking in Ezreal. So that's another really cool champ select strategy there. If you don't have another ban slot, then just lock in the champion that you think the enemy would play. And this is something that Fixie Mantel, I believe, has been playing Ezreal. I think he's played an Ezreal game in regular season play, but we know for a fact Daddy Kai has. So this is almost like a secondary ban for them. And the Annie, of course, being locked in for Avrayazov, we know that's comfort for them. And then we get a surprise over on the side of Hotline Ping. We get some spice coming through. This is the first Samira of Coach Rivals Season 2.
Yeah, and I'm not an ADC main, so you can probably speak to this a little more, Justin, but the consensus on Reddit is that Samira has been gutted, right? That her damage output or something, just they've destroyed her AD ratios or something, but essentially no one plays Samira anymore because she just isn't a good champion according to the internets.
Yeah, it's tough because she's short range.
Sure.
Although she is mobile, that does help, but the range really hurts her. The fact that she has to charge up her ultimate essentially with hitting
Right.
all the different rotating through the abilities. It's not just as simple as, oh, I want to use my ultimate now, press R and you have it. That makes it tough, and she's really countered by just hard CC. So JGE, with seeing the Samira this early in Champ Select, really need some point and click crowd control for the Samira. However, Hotline Ping, I think we're kind of expecting that, and they lock in the Leona with the Samira. Leona's a really good pickup, almost like a steal from JGE because of the point click Q stun. So from here, I would like to see JGE lock in something like an Alistar because of, you know, point click CC. Samira can't block that with her W, right? And you can headbutt her out of the fight. You can pulverize her up into the air to, you know, kind of cancel her ultimate, things of that nature. So that's what I'm looking kind of for JGE to do now that this kind of Samira has been locked in, which is kind of I would say a conditional hyper carry, basically.
Yeah, or you know, to your point, maybe a Rakan, like we saw earlier in the day, right? In the other games we already covered. Rakan's another good one. You know, partners well with Ezreal as well, kind of get in, get out. Yeah, really, really good call. But it's not either of those things. It's the Senna. What?
Yeah, so this is a surprising pick because I don't know that we've seen Erudite on Senna, but you have the double range there. So the idea is the Senna can potentially poke out the Senna with the Ezreal, poke out the Leona, poke out the Samira, try to dissuade them from being able to go in. And if I remember correctly, Senna's Q can't be blocked by the Samira W because it's like a laser, I think, or just the way that it happens. I could be wrong, but either way, that could be something that they were looking at.
I'm sure Riot just put a true in front of it, called it like true range or something. Right. That's what they. Oh, we can't. This doesn't work. Just put a true in front of it. It'll work now.
We have the Zoe band coming through, followed by the reworked Tom Kench band from Hotline Ping, answered by the Victor band, which they're banning out Zenbird's Victor. Zenbird's played so much Victor this season, and finally we're gonna see him on something. I think Set was another one of his picks, but other than that, it's been all Victor all the time.
Man, these are what a bummer. I'd love to see some Tom Kench or some Zoe in one of these games. So seeing them on the ban board is cool because at least, you know, right, these guys have obviously been practicing it, or it's something they may bust out in a later round if one of these teams whichever team advances. But yeah, I mean, really cool to see. You know what, we've scouted you really well, even though you've never played this throughout the season. We know you can. We're going to take it away, and then obviously taking away the really big pick with the Victor and the Nocturne on the other side with Hotline Ping, which has been a menace.
JGE breaks out the Silas. So this is a really cool, spicy pick, especially when you look across the aisle and you see the ultimates that the Silas can steal. A Silas with a Samira ult, Silas with a Cho'Gath ult.
How does that work?
I don't think he has to stack it.
He just gets it. Wow.
I think Chat could probably correct me there. I've never seen the interaction, but I'm just thinking, you know, Silas getting up close and personal, eating into the fight, you know, healing up with Kingslayer, and then popping that Samira ult and just shredding. I think it's a really cool pick as an answer into the strong ultimates that are on the other side for Hotline Ping.
Yeah, really just a you know, what do they call that? A 5-head move by JGE to, like, you know, oh, well, I like the ultimate from that champ. It's mine now. But interesting that they picked the Silas up after locking in the Annie. You know, I assume the Annie was going mid lane. Well, now I don't know. Maybe, you know, that could be Silas top, could still be Annie mid. I don't know. You don't typically see either of those champions in the jungle. So it looks like JGE is locked in everything but their jungler, but I don't know which lane the Silas and Annie are going to.
Right, yeah, for sure. And Hotline Ping responds with Olaf and Galio. So really strong duo there. Olaf pops the Ragnarok, runs straight to the backline. Galio can ult onto him. It's like a Galio delivery service, essentially. Yeah. So strong kind of comp there. You've got Olaf to go dive the backline, Galio to dive with him, Leona to sit back and peel for the Samira, and then the Cho'Gath really operating as kind of a zone control, right? Dropping down the Rupture, knocking up enemies if they get close, dropping the silence. So you do have the ability to triple dive the backline too. If you want to send Leona Olaf Galio to the backline, and then just leave Cho'Gath back to try and peel. But I think the comp that Hotline Ping is showing here is dive Olaf Galio into the back, let Cho kind of sit in the middle as a pseudo kind of front line, and help peel for that Samira, let her stack up and get to the those style points, the Devil May Cry system there, and unleash that bullet storm to hopefully carry those fights. JGE, you mentioned the jungle is the question mark. It ends up being the storm being brought, as we said, Saikaze, liking the Volibear. This time we're going to see Chris the Human on Volibear in
Love
the jungle.
that username.
So we've got to have, that was one thing that JGE was missing was beef, right? They're missing really any sort of front line. And the Volibear, I think, can serve as that, and can also dive with the Silas. Silas hitting some of those E's, going on to some of those priority targets in the back line, while Annie, Ezreal, Senna do their best to try and survive against this Olaf Galio dive. So this is what the comps ended up coming through as. So just kind of predictions moving forward. Ronnie, you have any? I've kind of said all I have to say.
Oh no, you've been killing it, man. This is great. I'm a viewer right now, just enjoying the commentary and stuff. So I'm looking at these team comps, and I'm looking at Hotline Ping's comp, and I love, like you said, this whole kind of like everyone go forward dive type composition. The only thing I feel like I wish they would have locked in instead of the Samira would be maybe a Callista, because you can throw the Cho'Gath in as well, right? For even a fourth diver, or pull somebody out as an escape tool or something like that. But again, I'm not an ADC main, and I don't know what their goal was going into this, but I'm pretty sure Daddy Kai's played some Callista, so I would have liked to have seen him bust that out. I think that's a better fit for the comp. But maybe he's played a ton of Samira, and he kind of really wanted to shoot his shot here. You know what I mean? Other than that, I think the comp is fantastic. For the side of JGE, they do have what you need, what you talked about, right? They got the point and click stun from Annie. They got the ultimate steal from Silas, which is going to be able to deny some of the aggression. Maybe they steal the Galio ult as they're diving. Who knows? There's all kinds of ways that could play out. Senna, again, with another way to lock somebody down, and then Volibear with the point and click stun. Really a lot of ways for them to get in and not even have to worry about the wind wall of Samira, kind of get up close and personal and still lock her down. So again, from JGE, love the composition. I think both teams did a really good job of getting a few things that they needed, a few things they wanted, and kind of filling out this comp to pad any weaknesses. Like you mentioned, maybe they need some beef, maybe they need some protection, some lockdown, CC. I think both teams kind of have those ways to get in and out of these fights. They're just going to have to figure out the best way to maneuver and find the fights they want.
Awesome. Well, we are going to go ahead and hop into Spectate and see how this one played out. Streamlabs is cooperating with me. Oh, there we go. No spoilers. Very cool. All right, Ronnie, so we're going to do this kind of old school.
I'm going to synchronize the watches.
Yeah, we're gonna synchronize these. I believe is P the play button, or is K?
Yes.
P is play.
P. Yeah.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Awesome.
We're in.
So we're not too. I don't think we're going to be too far off as we're looking for any spice potentially coming through from either one of these teams.
These skins.
Yeah, look at the skins. We do have the is that the Runic Volibear coming through. We have Broloff for Saikaze.
Love it.
On the Olaf.
Got the prestige skin on the Silas too. Ooh. Oh, it looks like it is going to be Silas top lane. There was a little bit of discussion there pre-draft. I didn't know where they were going, but yeah, Volibear going top. I mean, sorry, Volibear going jungle, obviously, but Silas going top side to deal with the Cho'Gath. That's interesting.
One thing too that the Galio was a little late out the gate, and could be a little concerning at times, especially if you have teams that want to have a spicy level 1. do an early invade or get some deep warding there. So fortunately, it did not come back to bite them on the side of Hotline Ping. So looks like just a standard line of scrimmage here from both teams. Cartera getting a
these
little
guys
out of
almost just walk
position.
right past each other. Yeah, okay. All right, here we go. Some craggy ice coming through.
That's it, the craggy ice axe. I like it.
They're going to be spotted on this as there's a ward there, and Andy's going to walk directly into this Galio. If he had leveled up the taunt or the knock up instead, might have been a little dangerous, but she's just going to chug a potion, be just fine. They do clear this ward out, but definitely JGE is going to know which side Hotline Ping is starting on, so no mystery there. Whereas on the side of JGE, they are shrouded in fog, so Hotline Ping maybe could guess where they are, but they don't know for sure.
I think another thing too with that Galio catching the Annie there in the mid, Galio is running Aftershock, so had he been running something like Electrocute, obviously he's not going to. He's going to be running Aftershock anyways, but that helped that little trade there in mid not be as impactful, as we do have some action just breaking out all across, trades happening everywhere, especially in the top lane from that Decker guy directly onto Cartera, trying to zone her off of CS, and we already see a sizable CS lead being generated in the top lane. Silas at 8 CS, Cho'Gath 1.
Yeah, big wave stacked up here. Cho'Gath trying to keep it just in front of the turret so that Silas has to step really far forward to clean this up. He's in a really aggressive position, not really going to be punished anytime soon, as Olaf is in the bottom side of the map here, just clearing out his Raptors. But really well done from Cartera to deal with the aggression and leave the wave in a spot where, yeah, he's gonna be able to keep pushing this, but he's gonna do so at his own risk. So that Decker guy definitely very fearless at the moment, but let's see how long he can continue to play this aggressively. Right now, both junglers have not appeared on the map just yet, really just kind of focused on clearing their camps. CS, dead even, 20 to 21. Other lanes, basically dead even as well, 15 to 12 in the mid lane, 18 to 17 in the bot lane. Really too early for anybody to be separated at this point, but we do see the Scuttle Crab spawn up, and you're going to see Volibear get the one on the top, Olaf get the one on the bottom. So again, these teams kind of just trading blow for blow here. All that said, there is a very small gold lead in the favor of JGE already, but not really much to speak of, and not really much on the stat sheet either, as nobody's made a recall at this point in the game. But you do see, yeah, again, Silas just playing really aggressively in this top side, even taking a turret shot for his trouble, but coming out on top. And then here comes Olaf. Saikazi with the long-range axe gets the first blood as well, taking 2 tower shots for his trouble, but just going to shrug him right off. And yeah, sure enough, here comes the first little bit of action at the 4-minute mark, right before the first dragon of the game spawns.
Yeah, both teams really handshaking this early game, trading the Scuttle Crabs, not really contesting those, trading CS back and forth, those even the trades back and forth with health and mana in the mid lane. And yeah, Saikazi answers first with that gank in the mid lane. We did see Zenburn kind of roam down into the river, as we do have another engage down here. The Zenith Blade does connect on the Fixing Mantella. He's in. But great answers and trades. He does have the Arcane Shift away, trading some of that damage back. So all in all, we do see the exhaust coming through from Senna. So almost kind of breaking even, right? Hotline Ping get the Summoner spell out of Erudite, but JGE went out on the trade as far as damage goes.
Yeah, really kind of just really close one there, but neither side really comes out on top necessarily. Just a Summoner spell blown, but a really short cooldown on that one. But on the other side of the map, that Decker guy does take Cartera after pushing that wave in. Ezreal goes down to Daddy Kai, so 1 for 1 overall, 1 on either side of the map. But here comes Volibear. Both junglers actually showing up here. I don't know which team's coming out on top, but now Leona going all the way in as a TP comes through from Galio. My goodness, 4 members now in the bot lane as this little minion wave stacked up. Now 3 members. These guys pushing this all the way into the tower to make sure to deny some CS, as Ezreal's still down, not going to be able to clean any of that up. And now they transition over to the Dragon, as they've got a clear numbers advantage with Ezreal still walking down to the lane. We do have some vision on this from JGE, so they're definitely going to see this happening, but no real way to contest it, as Ezreal does not have level 6 yet, so can't just throw a cheeky ultimate in there. Volibear not really able to contest it. Also Smite on cooldown at the moment, so now it's back up at the right now, but definitely not something they were able to contest there. And yeah, really big win for Hotline Ping there. Now with the level advantage in the top lane, wow, he's going for it. He's got the ultimate already stolen. That Decker guy gets another solo kill on Cartera, putting on a clinic in the first 6 or 7 minutes here, as he's now 2-0, already working on his lost chapter, and getting a little bit ahead here as he's starting to run away with this lane.
Yeah, I like the TP play down into the bottom from Zinburn. They know that Decker guy is kind of running loose and running wild here in the top lane. So versus trying to go up there and put a band-aid on that, they doubled down on bot lane. And here's another fight.
Has already got the tower aggro on Volibear. He's going to take a couple of tower shots, and the shield's going to keep him pretty healthy. The flash at the very end does not save him, as there was just enough damage from that ramping tower shots. They get a little bit heavier each time they hit you, so that first one tickles, but the third one really hurts, and he took a fourth one there for his trouble, just enough to kill him. So Cartera does get a little bit of gold back in her pocket, plays that extremely well, and although she's going to get punished after using that teleport, it's not going to be as severe as it would have been had she not gotten that kill back. So really good job there to net something, but still that Decker guy 3-0 now in this top lane matchup, having a really good time up there.
Yeah, Silas is absolutely huge right now. And, even though the dive kind of got fumbled a little bit with the extra tower shot there onto Chris the Human, fortunately, that kill did go in the pocket of Silas. So that Decker guy is still just ramping up, has the CS lead, has the only bounty in the game right now with the 300 gold on his head, gets the flash out of Cartera too as we're talking, and Chris the Human now roaming down to the bot lane to try to, again, stifle some of the aggression. So it looks like both teams are kind of splitting the map. Like, Hotline Ping taking the bot side, JGE taking top, and that's where they decide to focus a lot of their attention.
Really smart play, a lot of the really, high-end, high-ranking players always say you don't gank losing lanes as a jungler, and the best strategy is to put all of your eggs into the basket that's already winning. That's going to typically net you a larger advantage rather than trying to mitigate your losses. And you see that happening here. Really, both teams, like you said, finding their points of strength. 3-3 in the KDA. The gold is dead even. I mean, 12.7 to 12.8. So really no one can be separated at this point. Nice silence there by Cartera to deny the ultimate steal and potential dive from that Decker guy. But now a dive on the other side, as they were not expecting Volibear to show up here. Nice little turn for him to be in the right place at the right time. Chris the Human, excellent job just navigating that fight there. Now Silas, that Decker guy, steals another ultimate, takes out Cartera once again. This is a 3-for-0 so far for JGE. And now Silas trying to get out of there. That Decker guy is not going to be able to escape 4 champions. Is he? Or 3 champions. Can he get out of there? Oh my goodness, he turns it. Wow, Saikaze was not expecting the damage. That Decker guy now 5-0, cannot be stopped. He's unkillable. My goodness, putting on a I don't want to say a clinic, but man, this guy is just running away with this game, putting the team on his back. What a show.
Ronnie, that was a 1v3.
Yeah.
That was a 1v3. He ended up getting the kill on Cartera, and then, of course, Saikaze's coming up there as well as Zinburn, and he is the whole, he's running away, and it's the call the ambulance, and then it's like, but not for me, and he's right back in, and wow, what an awesome play.
Goodness. He's got his mythic item at 10 minutes, and to your point, right, the 1v3, he doesn't have a single assist to his name. These are all solo kills, man. This guy is insane.
Wow, unreal. The Silas pick coming in huge. And we also saw both teams flip their priority there. We saw JGE kind of put more attention bot side there. The Volibear did have that clutch roam down to the bot side to answer the aggression from Leona and Samira, and then at the same time we had Olaf go top. But yeah, Rift Herald being dropped in the bot lane.
Uh-oh, I didn't even see this get picked up by Psychosi earlier. This must have been a little bit of a sneak earlier in the game. Used really well. They take out 3 whole plates, just about. I think they got that third one, that last little tick there. So 3 plates to their name netted. And now they're going to transition over to the Dragon. So Hotline Ping taking a few lumps here in this early game, down 4 kills, but not down and out, as they're continuing to make sure and have their presence felt in this bottom side of the map, even though it's a point of strength for JGE. Now they're committing to this dive. Samira very far forward here, unfortunately does not expect all the damage to come through all at once, and these guys do pick her up. Now, once again, that Decker guy stealing the ultimate, taking tower shots one after another. Oh no, can he get out of this?
Oh, the sidesteps!
Wow, the sidestep by Cartera. Wow, what a sidestep. She played that perfectly, knew he was going to dive her, and then got the 500 gold shutdown. What an impressive sidestep there by Cartera. And now the ultimate from Olaf denies the Annie stun. That's going to be a sure kill. These guys pick up the Annie and the Tibbers afterwards. Womp womp.
What a huge play in the top lane from Cartera. Sub 100 HP, a Silas in your face, sidesteps the chains multiple times in order to survive there, and collects that huge bounty that's been on the top of Silas's head.
My goodness. And Volibear not quite respecting the Olaf engage, almost gets taken out, but here comes Silas once again, just going wherever he needs to be. He's only got a single death to his name, so he's still feeling really strong, and shows up there to keep Chris the Human alive. And now he's going to head back up to his lane to cover that wave and also prevent the red buff steal. So again, just kind of just being everywhere they need him to be. That Decker guy is really just trying to take that lead he's built up and take it to other lanes and make his presence felt all over the map.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's one of the things, too, that's a skill to pick up, that, when you have that gigantic lead, as that Decker guy does have on the Silas, you can't just sit in that lane the entire time. You've got to be able to spread that lead around, help your teammates, get some neutral objectives, because you're just so absolutely strong. So we do see that trying to be done right. Unfortunately, not really much to be done on the map. No, Rift Herald's not up for another 90 seconds. Drag's not up for almost another 5 minutes. So right now it looks like these teams are going to be content with just handshaking this and say, all right, let's just go back to farming until another neutral objective's up.
Yeah, 15 seconds on those turret plates. Maybe they can get a little more here. Now, as you see Galio go really far forward, takes a tower shot, but it's just going to shake it off. He's just got that little purple magical shield there. He's going to be just fine. Putting down some vision, getting ready for maybe the next objective, as we've got Rift Herald, the second one spawning in about a minute. As turret plates go down here, it's not going to be worth quite as much, but if used properly, can net a couple of towers as that turret plating falls, meaning the turrets are going to be more susceptible to some of the damage from the Rift Herald. So now we've got a 2-man roam, as Galio can ult in at any moment. And Olaf just kind of has to walk at you, but he's on his way, and now JGE respects it, has to back off a little bit, and that Decker guy knows there's not anybody up here to help out Cartera, and goes really aggressive, gets another ult onto the Cho'Gath, taking him really low, thinking about the tower dive again, but learned his lesson after the last time and said, yeah, maybe I'll just wait and play this out. Really, really intense, and sure enough, goes for it again. Yeah, both under half health here. Cartera is still worse for the wear at 25% health, but holding her own, making sure she doesn't just give up this tower for free. And with Olaf nearby, he has been spotted by Vision, by a really nice ward placed by someone. It's going to keep that Decker guy from engaging again, but really, really dicey play there from both top laners, and nobody dies.
yeah, we almost saw Tower Dive 2 Electric Boogaloo happening there. Fortunately, that Decker guy's like, yeah, I don't think so. Fool me once, shame on me. Or shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
I'm not going to be that guy. I'm making the highlight reel for the wrong reasons, right? No way. That's fantastic. Yeah. All right. You see some, yeah, still that second Rift Herald coming through as they snuck the first one, but Saikaze does get spotted by the Observer this time. And we do see him secure that second Rift Herald solo just now. So 2 for 2 on those, 2 dragons to 0. Really, Saikaze just doing an amazing job so far in his lane matchup, as he's also got a 14 CS lead on Chris the Human. And now, are these guys going to go ahead and try to negate this top lane push? No, this is going to be Decker. That Decker guy really just taking over. He takes the ultimate from Olaf, gets the kill as he could not be stopped or taunted. It goes down afterwards, but really nice job there to make sure he didn't just go down for free. And also denies the Rift Herald push because Saikaze had the Rift Herald. Well, he's dead, so they can't use it. And now a 4-man play in the bot lane here for the Dragon, as JGE recognizes they've got numbers, and Hotline Ping doesn't have anybody on this side of the map other than Leona. And now they realize that Leona's still here. They're going to go for her. Nice flash over the wall, but now Samira in a little bit of trouble. The wind wall denies the engage, and now the exhaust comes through, but Galio's in the area. My goodness, back and forth here. Now who's in trouble? I don't know. Now it looks like Volibear flashes out, and nobody dies?
Wow.
What? Wow, that was incredible.
Yeah, good call on the Olaf dying with Rift Herald in the top lane. Had anybody else died to that Decker guy in the top lane, Olaf drops that Rift Herald, and they instantly get the tier 1. They get the tier 2. Could have possibly pushed maybe even onto an inhib tower. So just those slim margins right now from both teams. You mentioned that, you know, this 3-on-3 there, nobody dies. The Rift Herald does end up getting dropped in the mid lane, though. That is going to open up the map a little bit, but not able to finish it up.
Almost, yeah. Not really able to step forward, as you see the Silas coming through. Already takes the Galio ult, not able to use it just yet, but zoning away this mid lane push, this 2-member push. And yeah, denying that mid lane tower going down, just keeping that up for a little longer. And now at the 18-minute mark, we haven't seen a single tower go down from either side. So JGE definitely with the lower towers in the top, mid, and bot lane. All 3 are lower than their lane opponents, but no towers have fallen yet. And a low tower doesn't net you any gold. So a lot of standing gold on the map, but not really a obvious way to get any of it. We go really far forward here from Leona. She's going to take 3 tower shots already. Saikaze comes through to help out, and now Senna in quite a bit of trouble. Daddy Kai does get the ultimate, takes out 1. Let's see, that's going to be actually, I believe, a double kill. And now the minions get cleaned up, and no one in the top lane, so Cho'Gath's going to do his thing. He can't stand up to Cartera the same way that Decker guy can, but he's going to be just fine getting out of there. And wow, man, just some crazy stuff going on back and forth here. Bot lane, top lane, action everywhere. As we see now teams start to rotate towards the top side of the map. We'll see what their next move is.
Yeah, the Leona Zenith blade onto the Ezreal was played really well by Fixie Mantella. He buffered the E to be able to pull the Leona into tower range, but they had that pocket Galio just waiting for that dive. So that was a really cool play set up by Hotline Ping. So well played by JGE, but Hotline Ping had the answer, had the forethought, like, you know, we need to go ahead and double stack down here. And that, yeah, you called it, got the double kill for the Samira. Samira now sitting at a 60 CS lead. And Galio sitting at about a 50 CS lead as well. So that Decker guy, yeah, definitely got ahead early, but you got 2 members on the side of Hotline Ping that have really fat wallets right now.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the difference that you see with the ADC scores, right, the CS difference and the KDA, I think a lot of it comes down to the different style of supports that they have with them. You've got the traditional lockdown style, you know, support with Leona on the side of Samira, and you're seeing it pay off, you know, in dividends here, where Leona is able to really land all this CC and keep somebody in place for ADC to do their job, where Senna isn't that traditional style ADC. My goodness, I cannot believe how long this fight's been going. The flash for flash here, and these guys are actually still going. Silence is going for it again. He's taking tower shots. Does survive this time with less than 100 health. Samira nets another kill in the mid lane after getting the tower. Now she's going to ult in. The Q from Volibear denies the ultimate. That's what we were talking about before the game. Now can they finish this? Dedikai still gets the kill. Oh my goodness, did he... Did he cleanse that?
The
Did he
Immortal
Q
Shield
assist?
Bow.
The shield bow. That's what it was. Oh man, and Leona still being so aggressive here. The lockdown comes through, couple of tower shots. She's going to shrug him off. Leona's a tank, and wow, the shutdown finally comes through for fixing Mantella, as they do eventually pick up the Samira. But what a fight! Now Olaf up here, Saikaze looking for something, trying to deny the recall for that Decker guy. He's in trouble. He's on an island, but he's got some friends on the way. So let's see what's going to happen. He's been the one to do the dives the last couple of times. Now he might get dove, and looks like Saikaze sees his buddies come in and decides, you know what? Never mind, man. You're good. We're chilling.
I like I'm gonna call out the itemization on Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath's done really, really well. Got the Bramble Vest coming through, which is gonna give the Grievous Wounds onto the Silas, and then you also have the Merc Treads. So those fights now in the top lane aren't as one-sided as they were, right? Silas, was absolutely shutting down the Cho'Gath early, but now that Carter's got some items in, I'd be wondering if Silas could maybe go something for more like a Demonic Embrace, maybe, to have some of the health shred onto the Cho'Gath, because right now he can't burst her anymore, right? You've got to itemize differently if you're going to continue to try for that 1v1, but he does opt for the Zanyas instead, or at least the Seeker's Arm Guard now, because the Samira's getting pretty big.
There's the Leona ult coming through from Silas, the stolen ult, I should say. And now the flash coming through as the real Leona ult comes through. Will the real Leona ult please stand up? We've got quite the fight here as all members are committing to this, and all the health bars on the blue team are going down, except Samira. She somehow stays alive. So does Leona with the tankiness there. She gets the shot over the wall, not quite enough to take out Fixie Mantella. He's the only member alive, though. How can he possibly get out of this? Going back towards his opponent's side as there's nowhere else to escape to. Gets a nice little combo there for some damage on Samira, but it's not going to be nearly enough as the eventual ace comes through. And now Hotline Ping on top of this game, controlling the tempo, pushing 2 lanes at the same time here. Looks like they're going to get a couple of towers for their trouble after the ace. And with nothing else really on the map to fight over, they just cleaned up that 3rd dragon. I missed the dragon getting taken out. They must have stolen it, I believe, is what happened there. Because JGE was on the dragon first, and it looks like maybe Saikaze must have just snuck in there and stolen it. I missed that as it happened. What a play. So really, Hotline Ping comes out with everything after that fight. Really not losing anything for their trouble there, and just creating a massive advantage, as now the gold difference is about 900 in their favor. What a swing.
Yeah, I think JGE need to commit to putting the Silas in the side lane. I think if they're going to kind of go 5v5, try to ram their heads right into Hotline Ping, I don't think they win that. I think you've got to get that side pressure, and they're doing that right now. They moved the Silas down into the bot lane. I don't know if anybody can... Another fight breaks out in mid, though. Here's the danger of the split push.
Yeah. That's that Decker guy's specialty. Now he's going to teleport right into the middle of the enemy team. 5 members are there, buddy. Oh, no, that's rough. He's going to teleport and immediately die, as now a triple kill comes through for Daddy Kai. That's 4 for 0, as these guys are actually pushing down the inhibitor turrets, and now the inhibitor itself in the mid lane. The shortest distance between the 2 Nexus is the mid lane, so these guys are taking the fastest route to the enemy Nexus. Daddy Kai recalling. I don't know if he believes the game is not quite over and he's trying to get a recall before the respawns. Does get the ace after all. And now with the respawn timers being still double digits for many members, this is probably the game as the Nexus turrets go down. And now the Nexus itself at about 75% health. These guys are still netting a couple of kills from the fountain. Oh no, Samira goes in, dies. And that's still going to be the game as Carter is just chugging away at that. Maybe not. These guys might die before this goes down. The last stand comes through. There are no members left on the map. The triple kill for the Silas. What?
Yeah, and a little bit of disrespect there. The fountain dive, not really necessary. You could have... Hotline Ping 100% could have ended there.
Yeah, that was the end. Yeah. And, I don't know if it'll end up meaning anything. This game may be over regardless, but JGE still just not with the, never say die attitude and not taking, this one team fight loss and letting it end the game. They literally are on death's door here with, 10% health on their Nexus and still fighting back, clawing back into this. Now they've got super minions in the mid lane coming their way, which is going to net them some additional gold. Minions will passively push into them, so they don't have to go as far out to collect that gold. And it was really only the one inhibitor. So while the Nexus is exposed, if they can hang on for 4 more minutes until that inhibitor respawns, they are going to have a little bit of defense before Hotline Ping can just walk in and destroy the Nexus. So they got to play a little safe here. Make sure there aren't any wards in the back of their base for Hotline Ping to TP to and get a cheeky backdoor. But outside of that, it looks like they're going to be okay for a couple of minutes here.
Yeah, again, I'd still like to see that Decker guy splitting. And as I mentioned before, but Hotline Ping played it really well because they just dove on the remaining members. They weren't able to play safe enough to get those lanes shoved out. And so that's kind of the answer. That's kind of the tug of war back and forth. If the enemy team is split pushing and you don't really have anybody to go down and answer them, then you hard engage on the remaining members. And if your team, as a split pusher, if your teammates can peel back and disengage and survive that, then it's fine. You get free towers on the other side of the map. But Hotline Ping playing that really, really well. As we have another engage here at the Baron.
Yeah, that's one of those things where you kind of got to know the state of the game, right? Like, my job here isn't to get a kill or anything. It's to just make sure I don't die. And wow, man, really just clean it up here. The quadra kill comes through for Daddy Kai. The pentakill, in fact, only the second one we've ever seen in Coach Rival's history here this season. What a fight, as you see the clinic put on by Samira, hitting the R button as soon as it was available. And boom, she gets every single kill, cleans up everything, as now these guys are going to finish off the Nexus. And way to prove me wrong about the Callista call out. The Samira was the perfect pick for this composition, and Daddy Kai plays it to perfection there. What a game.
Yeah, definitely almost could have cost them there with the kind of the disrespect on the tower dive or the fountain dive. I'm sure that's something we could revisit later, or potentially, something could have gone sideways after that. If that fight doesn't go that way, that could have been the turning point for JGE to be able to get back into the game. Getting those kills and getting a little more pressure on the map. But unfortunately, JGE, they didn't get any towers, and that ended up really coming back to hurt them. So really strong presence in the top lane with that Decker guy. Bot lane was holding their own. Taylor Evraezoth on the Annie in the mid lane still doing fairly well, but they just weren't able to translate those leads into map pressure, and that's what ended up having that ended up backfiring on them, because they had such a small map to work with for them, as opposed to once they get those towers, they get those tier 1s knocked down, they have a larger map now they can leave their base a lot more freely, but they were constantly having that pressure poured on them and unable to get that Silas split push going, or even the Silas in the fights, just because of how much protection the Samira had once those team fights came through. So really cool clash of styles between the two teams, but ultimately Hotline Ping comes away with the win.
What a game, man. Just really, it looked really dicey with how far the Silas was getting ahead there. When he was 5-0, even 5-1. It's like, man, this guy is getting crazy. And that Decker guy has shown he could put on some carry type performances, almost beating you guys in the regular season earlier with the Fiora split push. And Silas, kind of the same idea. He was starting to ramp up, and nobody could deal with him, and it was looking like it was going to be another one of those kind of games. And then Hotline Ping playing it really well, making sure to kind of absorb that pressure. And anytime Silas showed up anywhere on the map that wasn't with the team, boom, they immediately engage. Hotline Ping said, go, 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 burn everything you got. And it worked really well, because by the time he showed up in most fights, he was either there after everyone was already dead, or he was TPing into several members because they had already collapsed and moved the kind of line of scrimmage further back into JGE's territory, making it impossible for him to make an impact. So really well done, and really kind of putting a lot of the pressure on JGE as, all right, you guys have a little bit of a lead. Now, what are you going to do with it? Because it's all on one member. And you saw, that Decker guy, he had picked up the Leona ult at one point. I don't know if that was the one he wanted necessarily. It worked initially, but then the fight kind of got turned back over into Hotline Ping's favor. And that dragon fight down in the 25-minute mark just about was really where the game kind of turned completely in Hotline Ping's favor, and they never looked back after that. So we almost saw the Remember the Alamo stand by JGE at the end there as they said, yeah, we're not dead yet, but eventually just too much from the side of Hotline Ping to deal with, and really just excellent game by everybody, but Daddy Kai showing everybody how to use that Samira, that's for sure.
Yeah, so it's going to set up round 2 of our playoffs. So next Thursday, or I guess the coming Thursday, that's next, this coming Thursday, next Thursday, I don't know how you call that, July 29th is round 2 of playoffs. That is going to see Team Tragedy taking on Hotline Ping, and Deathcat for Cutie versus either Coach Diff or the team on the right. We featured this matchup on Rift Happens, so if you want to get some details on what that matchup is going to look like, what these teams did the previous time that they met, and what our predictions are as far as their champion picks, maybe who they should ban, who they should be afraid of, who is maybe the hard carry on the team, what type of style each of these teams are going to play. Be sure to check out episode 7 of Rift Happens. That is available on any podcast provider or at anchor.fm, which we use for hosting, so they've been really good to us. But either way, that matchup should be coming up Tuesday night. That is my understanding. It has been rescheduled to Tuesday night. What day is that? Anybody help me out here? The 27th? Got it. I beat you to
it. You did, man. I was
July
working
27th.
Yeah.
July 27th, and I think they're scheduled for 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Central. I think 6 p.m. Central. So we'll see if we can get some casters available for that one. Either way, I think it should be streamed. I think we have so many volunteers to be able to step up. We should have that game streamed for everybody to watch. So huge matchup between those two teams. So check out the Rift Happens episode for a full breakdown on what you can expect. And whoever takes that win is going to face off against Deathcat for Cutie on the night of July 29th. I'm excited, Ronnie.
Yeah, make sure if you guys haven't, I'm sure a lot of you guys have, but if you haven't, hit that follow button on here, because you will get that notification via email as soon as we do end up going live. If that Tuesday game ends up getting moved to an earlier time or gets pushed to Wednesday or something, you don't want to miss it. We've only got a couple of games left. You see here the bracket. We got the Team Tragedy versus Hotline Ping, and then Deathcat for Cutie awaiting their opponent. After that, there's only one series left. It's a best of 3. So in reality, even if you count all 3 of those best of 3 games, we've got 5 games of League of Legends left, and that's it. It's over. So, you want to make sure you catch all the action. You don't want to miss a moment, as we've seen here. Some really exciting stuff come through. So far, all of the higher seeds have been able to defend their position and win their games. We'll see if Coach Diff is able to hold their own against team on the right, who has been ramping up and accelerating lately. They've won both of their last 2 games to finish the season really strong. So, really should be an excellent game. You guys don't want to miss it. And we're probably going to be bringing you guys a Wednesday episode of Rift Happens, as the Coach Diff versus Team on the Right game isn't even happening until Tuesday night, so we can't cover it, obviously. So look out for that as well. Lots of stuff coming up in the next 7 days, so you don't want to miss a moment. And we're going to make sure we bring you everything we can, try to make it awesome. We got the highlight clips, we got everything going here, so make sure to stick with us, guys.
Awesome. Yeah, so for that's going to do it for us. So I'm signing off here. We'll see y'all later. Ronnie, you got any parting words?
Just thank you to everybody for watching today. We had like 20 viewers at one point, which it's like a Friday afternoon, and we both joked like we might be streaming to 5 people, but you guys came out. We had a good time. I hope you guys had an awesome time. And this has been great. Thank you, Justin.
Yeah, awesome. Thank y'all for joining us. We'll see you Tuesday night.